Greetings and blessings to you. We're thankful for the opportunity to share with you once again and to remind us all of the grace and mercy of God. We have become beneficiaries of what God has done in our lives, and we are thankful for that, knowing that He has brought us from a mighty long ways. We certainly are appreciative of those that have been following this series that dealt with the thankfulness associated with the partnership with Jesus, dealt with hope as an essential ingredient that emerges within this relationship we have with Him. We also looked at grace and how we receive the undeserved and unmerited favor of God that helps us to come ever closer to Him and to be able to uh, proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ and to be utilized in this world in a great way. Thank God for sufficient grace, grace that meets needs, grace that helps us to become what we ought to be, grace that empowers us to see things a little better and a little clearer, and to know that with God being on our side, that we can accomplish just about everything. We also saw that mercy is an important aspect of our partnership with Jesus, that He extended mercy toward us and allowed us to know Him better and to have a right standing with God. He looked beyond all of our faults and saw our need, the need for help, the need for strength, the need for guidance, the need for direction, the ability to serve the Lord with all of our heart, our mind, and our soul, to be able to have the kind of passion and the desire for God that nobly is expressed in the fact that he that hungers and thirsts after righteousness shall be filled. So in 1 Timothy chapter 1, Paul enumerates a number of things related to his own conversion, his own ministry, and the fact that Jesus was responsible for it all. He expresses his thanks. He expresses or shares his story about how God brought him in and brought him to the place of being an apostle to spread the word and to share the goodness of the Lord with others. Now, as we look particularly at 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 16, Paul says, according to the King James Version of Scripture, howbeit for this cause I obtained mercy, that in me first Jesus Christ might show forth all long suffering. Now, that's as far as I like to go tonight as I consider this particular aspect or this particular portion of Paul's statement, which really brings to the fore that there is not only grace and mercy and hope and faith in the partnership, but there is patience in the partnership with Jesus. There's the kind of patience that God directs toward us. There's the type of patience that we develop from within. There's the kind of patience that we direct toward others. Paul says that his salvation ended up being an opportunity for Jesus to demonstrate long suffering or patience. Well, when we look at this word patience for the purpose of this study, it means that Jesus exercised restraint, that Jesus forgave, that Jesus exercised self control, that Jesus was slow to avenge the injuries. And all three of these particular definitions or synonyms serve to help us to see what was going on with Paul. That while he was violent against the church, Jesus exercised restraint. Paul deserved to be shut down. Paul deserved to be stopped in his tracks. But Jesus allowed things to run its course until that moment that Jesus interrupted Paul's mission by meeting him on the road to Damascus. So Paul suggests here that one key thing that developed in the partnership with Jesus is that Jesus exercised patience toward him. He allowed Paul to do what he was doing and to get to that moment that he was ready to receive the revelation. I believe that many of us have experienced the patience that God has had with us. We have experienced what it's like to run away from God, to be in our own world, to try to block out the reality of God's dealings with us. We did our thing, and God was patient with us. He exercised the long suffering attitude toward us. But thanks be unto God that at the appointed time, He got your attention. At the appointed time, He turned things around. At the appointed time, God made it possible for your heart to be open, your spirit to be open, so that you could say yes to God right on time. Paul says, I was a man and I was messed up. I was going the wrong way. I was attacking the wrong folk. But Jesus was patient with me. I'm thankful. And you should be thankful as well that Jesus was patient. That Jesus was patient with you. And we are a witness here that God can do anything but fail. That He can get your attention no matter where you've been, what you've done, where you've gone. He is patient enough to be good to you. He is patient enough to shield you from dangers. He is patient enough to bring you in right on time. Well, God bless you today. And consider that God's patience is very much a part of the partnership that we have with Jesus. Blessings.